Hockey town, going down to hockey town, whoa, whoa. Hockey town, take me down to hockey town, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Hello, hockey fans. The Minnesota Hockey Connection is on the air. We're on the air for the next half hour. I'm Kenny Gallagher, along with Jerry Burrow, and we're going to talk hockey from the pros to the amateurs and everything in between. And Jerry, let's start with high school hockey. High school hockey is started up, is heated
Right.
up, and things got started this weekend for a lot of teams.
Yeah, a lot of
Things
good,
really got
lot
going
of
out
good
at
games.
Heritage.
A lot of good
Yeah.
games already.
Yeah.
So it's a good start and good to see the boys playing hockey again.
Well, Duluth Denfeld beat Red Wing 5-1 on Friday, and then lost to a good Bloomington Jefferson team 8-1 on Saturday.
Right. And you know, like I said in the beginning of the year, Denfeld's not that deep, and they'll go as far as their goalie takes them. And he had a rough day with Jefferson, so
Why would they schedule a game with a double-A team, Bloomington Jefferson?
well, they all do. They all schedule some good games, you know.
Yeah.
And, you know, Denfeld's had some good teams over the years, you know, so they're very competitive.
All right.
A lot of these teams.
Well, I was asked that question today. That's why I asked you.
Okay.
So
And that's my answer.
there you go. Denfeld will host Greenway Tuesday at Heritage, so we'll await the outcome of that. Duluth Marshall, 3 losses to start the season: 7-0 at Cloquet, 8-2 to Benilde at Mars, and then a close 3-2 loss to
Yeah.
Minnetonka.
You had to give them credit for getting a good game in. You know, they lost 3 of their top 4 players. And like I said,
Now, are these long-term losses?
no, one will be back and, let's see, 1, 2, 3, one more game suspension because he had 2 red cards from soccer in the high school league. If you get 2 red cards, you lose 4 game suspension in hockey.
That is so harsh.
Yeah, it just doesn't make sense to me. But that's the way it is. And then 2 players are injured. So one has a knee injury, top defenseman, and so elite player. And so we'll see how that goes. He should be back before the end of this month, this December, I mean. So
Yeah. Hermantown back-to-back 5-3 wins over Wayzata and Roseville. Hermantown will play Duluth Marshall Thursday at 7:30.
at
At
Marshall, Mars, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully Duluth Marshall can give them a game, you know. And I think it'll be tough because, like I say, they're just not deep, and Hermantown can roll 4 lines if they want. And they're just a deep team, you know. They're, like I said, year in, year out, they're a double-A team.
Yeah.
So,
And then Duluth East, a 4-1 win over Wayzata. And then they've got a Tuesday game scheduled with Cambridge Isanti. But that big game we're looking at December 16th versus Duluth Marshall.
Wednesday night at the Amsoil.
Yeah, 7 o'clock drop of the puck
Right.
at Amsoil.
And I think maybe all those players from Marshall will be back by then, too.
Yeah.
So that'll be, if that's true, that'll be one heck of a game, I think. Because
Now, this past weekend out at Heritage, you had the 20th anniversary of the Duluth East 1995 championship.
Right. But it so happened, a lot of those players didn't show up. I mean, I saw, there's about 6 or 7 I noticed.
Was Spihar there?
No, Spihar didn't make it up.
Whoa!
He said he called, Coach said he called him up and said he wouldn't be there a few days before it happened. So-
Locker?
Locker wasn't there, so maybe he's coaching the Pee Wee team, so maybe they're at a tournament or
Oh,
at
yeah.
a game.
Well, that's too bad.
So, but maybe if East gets to the state tournament, usually a lot of these reunions are at state tournaments, so it'll be a big reunion if East makes it there again. So hopefully.
Yeah. Well, we remember that 95 East championship. Boy, I'll tell you, that first game was against Bloomington Jefferson, and they shut them out. And Bloomington Jefferson was not a team that East was supposed to beat, perhaps, but they beat them. And then they printed the T-shirts. 5-0. Any questions?
Yeah. And Well, I saw some of the players, like I said, that were at this reunion, and like Pat Gunderson and was it Engel was on that defensive line that always stopped that top line of the other team. They put that line out, and they did a heck of a job. They weren't there for scoring, and they had Flaherty, another defenseman. So they had a few players there, and 20 years you don't notice them. Oh, I haven't seen them since they're little high school kids. You know,
18
all of a
years
sudden
old, and
a lot of them's changed. I have to ask them, who are you? And
yeah, geez, they're almost
then all
40
of a
years
sudden,
old now.
after you talk to them, oh yeah, you can see their personality. And
That's pretty neat, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Huh.
hey, it's always good to once you're played together. I guess you always stay in touch some way.
Across the bridge in Superior, Superior started out with 2 losses at Eau Claire Memorial, and then they went to Notre Dame in Wisconsin and lost. They've got 3 more road games in Superior till they host a home game. They'll host Proctor on Tuesday, December 15th, 7:30 at Westman Arena.
Well, it's kind of funny. Superior is going to be in the Hilltopper Classic up at Mars Arena during the holidays between Christmas and New Year's. And Notre Dame and Superior are the 2 teams from Wisconsin that are going to be in that tournament.
Oh, so maybe Superior will get a
I
chance.
think Marshall's playing Notre Dame the first game.
All right, okay.
Yeah, but then we got Bemidji, a top 10 team in AA in Minnesota. We got, I think Cloquet's going to be in it. Delano is going to be there, and that's a good top 10 team, and so they're going to have some good teams.
Well, this past week, Bemidji and Grand Rapids faced off in Grand Rapids, and that ended up a 1-1 tie.
Yeah, I was there. And I'll tell you what, Trent Klatt is the new coach up there, the ex-pro player from Osseo.
For Grand Rapids?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Played for the Gophers and Osseo High School, and then he played pro hockey, and
Sure.
then he was the top scout for the New York Islanders. And so he was on the bench coaching during the JV team. Usually you don't ever see a high school the varsity coach going down to the
Yeah.
JV on the bench. They usually have the JV coaches, but he was there.
Interesting.
He's hands-on.
Wow.
So he really wants to get this team
Yeah.
to state this year, I think. And they got a great team, Rapids.
Well, Bemidji
They get-
must have a good team. They
Oh,
tied
yeah.
them 1-1.
Oh, yeah, they're a top 10 team.
Yeah.
They were at state last year, and they got a lot of players back, and so they're a very good team.
Yeah.
Just have to replace a goalie. That's their number one thing. And that goalie is a sophomore they played. He played good.
Well, let's talk about rankings. And again, we know it's early on, but we still have to go through the rankings and find out who's where and how things might change as the weeks go on. But let's start with Class A.
Okay, Class A, Hermantown is up there by themselves, I think, and so they're number 1, and they got Duluth Marshall and then Hopkins this week, games they get to play. And then number 2 is Breck, has always been up in that top 5 for years in Class A. Number 3 is St. Paul Academy. They're an up-and-coming team down in the cities, private school. And
Number 3, huh?
Yeah.
St. Paul Academy.
right.
All right.
And number
What is it that you see there that puts them into even the top 10?
They were in the top 10 last year, and the only reason they didn't get to state is Montemita. They're in the same section as Montemita,
okay.
and Montemita has a good team, and they have another good team this year. So
Yeah.
I think it'll be between those 2 teams in Section 4A. So, but they got most of their team back, and they just beat Laverne, which is a top 10 team. We've been talking Laverne for 3 years now.
Yes,
so,
we have.
So, and then number 4 is East Grand Forks, who's won the state tournament the last 2 years. And number 5 is St. Cloud Apollo. They were in the state tournament, I think, for the first time. Or if it's not the first time, it's been many years since they've been there. Montemita is number 6. Delano, number 7. St. Cloud Cathedral is number 8. St. Cloud Cathedral is a very good team, and funny thing about that team, the coach for Laverne moved up there. He's coaching this team this year.
Really?
Yes. So they got a good coach from Laverne.
So Laverne left to go to St. Cloud Cathedral.
Right, the coach from Laverne, yeah.
Oh, my.
Right.
Oh,
And then Laverne's number 9. And number 10 is Thief River Falls. And some teams to watch are Fergus Falls, Hibbing. Hibbing might be a very good team. They just
All
won't
right.
be as deep as Hermantown. New Prague, Orono, which Mr. Parrish is the old Jefferson player and played pro hockey. And we got Princeton, South St. Paul, and St. Paul Johnson.
all right. So Class A, Hermantown's the head of the class there.
Right.
Class AA?
Class AA, Eden Prairie, I think is a little bit above all these other teams. And these other teams, I think right now, if they played each other, everyone's going to beat each other a given night. So number 2, Edina. Number 3, Lakeville North, the last year's championship team. Number 4, Duluth East, very young team, a lot of young players, that can really help this team. And if Coach Randolph plays them a lot, this team can be something to be reckoned with when it comes to tournament time. If he puts a lot of time with these young kids. Number 5, Hill Murray. Number 6, Benil St. Margaret. Grand Rapids, number 7. Number 8, Bemidji. Number 9, Blaine, which has one of the best players in the state, and Riley Tufty. He's coming to UMD. The kid's 6'5", and this kid can play. So I'll be watching him a lot this year. Number 10 is Wazetta. Then teams to watch. We just had Bloomington Jefferson up here at the Heritage Center beating Denfield. Burnsville, they have a tough schedule in the beginning of the season, so they're playing a lot of teams in the top 10. So they probably will have a losing record going into January, but they're a very good team. Centennial, Cretin-Durham Hall, Elk River, which is a big 7A team that East usually plays in section play. Farmington, Holy Family Catholic, Minnetonka, Prior Lake. Prior Lake just lost Eden Prairie, but they beat East twice in scrimmages right before the season, so they're
Now, these are teams to watch.
Yes.
All right.
These are teams that can get up
Okay.
in the top 10 if they play good.
Yeah.
And then Stillwater, they had 5-6 kids that were on the Elite League. So they got a very good team. And then St. Thomas Academy, which is usually in the top 10, but they lost a couple players and some seniors that graduated. So we'll see where that team goes.
Well, high school hockey is up and running, and we're happy about that. And in other hockey, the UMD Bulldogs had this weekend off, and they'll resume play this Friday and Saturday. They're going to host Western Michigan at Amsoil. And I got to tell you, Jared, this team has to start winning at home.
Right. Well, they got 2 weekends in a row. They got Western Michigan and one of the better teams in college hockey, North Dakota, coming in the weekend after. So they just can't look past this first weekend. They got to get some points with Western Michigan.
And that's a team they've struggled with the past
Right.
couple of years.
Yeah. They're a funny team, Western Michigan. Certain teams they can handle. But usually they've been having some big D on that team, Western Michigan, and they'll pound you. They're not so offensive, but they just pound you, you know. So we'll see.
Well, currently the UMD Bulldog men are 5-5-3, and again, they've got games coming up this weekend with Western Michigan after having the last weekend off. 25th in pairwise. Their power play is ranked 41st.
Wow.
Out of 60 teams, their power play is at 14%. St. Cloud, third in the nation in power play, 30%. Now, this St. Cloud team's got a heck of a team.
They're third in the nation.
In power play.
Yep, I believe it. I saw them this weekend down playing the Gophers.
And they swept the Gophers.
Right.
And Judd Peterson was an integral part of that power
Last
play.
night he was.
Yeah.
Yeah, he scored a couple of power play goals and he got an assist. So he's doing good. He's only a sophomore.
Well, currently the Bulldog men are 17th in the coaches poll, but again, 25th in pairwise.
Right. So now they have to make their move. Show it, what they got.
Yeah, if you look at the, again, this is the coaches poll, which I'm a little critical of. North Dakota's 4th, Nebraska Omaha 6th, St. Cloud State 7th, Denver 9th. Again, UMD 17th. Minnesota State receiving other votes. And nowhere to be found is the Minnesota Gophers or the Wisconsin Badgers.
On
And
Saturday,
in years past, they're in the top 20 regularly.
well, Saturday night, Nebraska Omaha was playing Ohio State, and Mike Genzel, the assistant coach at the Minnesota Gophers kid, Jake Genzel, plays for Omaha. He got 5 points, 2 goals, and 3 assists in that game.
My goodness.
Yeah, that kid's. I think he's going to be up for Hobie Baker the way he's playing this year.
Now, how about this Ortega guy that they got?
Yeah, he's very offensive.
Yeah.
Ortega, he scores a lot of goals himself, but the problem with him is that he's not a very defensive player, but they got him for offense, and he's doing his job, I mean.
Is he a D1, or rather, is he a local guy?
No, he's from, I think, California.
Is it California?
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
they got some nice players over there at Omaha.
So the Minnesota Bulldogs, again, will host Western Michigan this weekend. The UMD women, they are currently, where do we have the women in their poll? They're not on the poll.
Well, I think they were 10 going into the Harvard.
There we go. They're
series.
10th. They are 10th, yeah.
Okay.
Minnesota, 3rd in the nation in women's hockey. Wisconsin, receiving all first place votes, 16-0. Wisconsin. Boston College, 17-0. And then Minnesota, the Gophers are 15-1. UMD, 6-10. Again, they're 10th in coaches poll. Minnesota 3rd.
Well, I watched the Minnesota ladies, and I tell you what, their power play, when they're on the power play, holy cow, watch out. Maybe the UMD men's team should watch how they do it.
Something's got to change in that power play.
No, it's so
folks.
funny. This weekend, Minnesota played Minnesota State Mankato on a weekend series, and the first game, Minnesota beat them 11-1. Second game, 2-1.
Isn't that something? Yeah.
How can a team change so much?
Yeah.
2 teams change so much in one night.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, again, the Minnesota, or rather the UMD women, 10th in the nation. Division III men's poll, St. Scholastica, 11th in the nation. They'll host Marion this weekend at Mars Lakeview Arena. And then rounding out Division III women, we have no local teams. Wisconsin Superior receiving other votes. Yeah. So that UMD Bulldog power play, Jerry, ranked 41st in the nation.
That is
has
unbelievable.
got to make some changes. And
With
I,
the-
for the life of me, don't know why.
With
why
the
don't-
offensive players they have, it's amazing.
Well, apparently they got to change some personnel on the power play, and they're
Right.
not doing it.
It's almost like the Wild. They've been terrible on their power play, too.
Is it me, or is Mikkel Granlund more eager to pass the puck than he is
Yes.
to shoot the puck?
Yeah, they want him
Because
to.
he is in position, he's in the slot, and I saw a game, was it Dallas the other night? It was the 3-on-3 during overtime, and he's in a position to shoot, he's right in front of the goalie, and he does a spin move and loses the puck.
Yeah,
Just, I don't
they
get
even
it.
they want him to shoot more, too. They're telling him to shoot more.
Well, he needs to be more aggressive, he needs to be more hungry to score, and unfortunately, he's not.
Well, they're not playing good, the Wild. They played the first period last Wednesday against Vancouver, and they should have scored 4 goals. They only got 1. And then the next 5 periods, 2 more periods with Vancouver, and they lost that game 3-2. And then all 3 periods with Winnipeg. I was at both of those games, and they didn't look good.
How much longer do they stick with Pominville until they maybe
Well, he finally got his first goal, you know,
Oh, he did.
on against Dallas. They were ahead 3-0 though.
Oh, was that
And
the
then-
game?
Yeah. And I tell you what, how do you lose a game in the pros when you're ahead 3-0 going into the third period?
I think Minnesota was behind Chicago 4-0 and came back and won 5-4 a couple of years back. So it happens.
Man.
But a team like Minnesota that thrives on being such a defensive-minded team, that was not good to see.
Boy. So, I mean, they're losing these games at home.
And
now
now-
they go on the road to Chicago, I think, Tuesday night.
They play Chicago Tuesday night, and then they'll host Toronto and Colorado. The Wild need to start winning games, and they need to start getting scoring from more than just Parisi and Zucker.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, Vanek and Koivu have been playing their tail off this year. And big improvement.
And Vanek has shown a big improvement.
Yeah.
He has.
And but I think they just got Fontaine back,
Yep.
and he made a nice pass to Vanek. I mean, that was a nice goal. But
And Parisi.
yeah, but Parisi, I don't think he doesn't look like he's the same Parisi yet. He looks a little.
Sure.
So I
Sure.
think he's not 100% maybe.
All right.
So
Yeah.
we'll see. But he didn't seem to want to go to the net as much as he usually does.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
we'll see. I hope he's 100% because you don't want him to tweak it and be out for a month or something because they need him.
Yeah, so this week the Wild will play again at Chicago. It's Tuesday night, and then Toronto on Thursday at XL, and Saturday Colorado at XL. And then they'll travel to Colorado on Monday the 7th, and that's an 8 o'clock start on FSN Plus. Monday night at Colorado.
See, juniors, the Wilderness. I think last Wednesday they played at home against the Magicians and they won 6-2. And then Friday they lost to Jamesville 3-2. I think they lost Saturday night too
Okay.
to Jamesville. So that was a tough series for them out there in Janesville. So let's see, what else do we have going? Yeah, all three NCHC teams, Omaha, North Dakota, and who else? And St. Cloud State, they beat the Big Ten teams, swept them. Everyone swept each series.
Yeah.
So that shows you maybe that the NCHC might be the strongest league in
Well, if you
college hockey.
if you recall, when this decision to go from from WCHA to the Big Ten, Minnesota and Wisconsin voted no. They did not want to leave the WCHA. Well, the Big Ten said, well, you're leaving or you're not leaving, meaning that you're part of the Big Ten, you got to go.
Yeah.
And it really disrupted a great hockey conference. But I'll tell you what, as far as a Bulldog fan is concerned, I think this NCHC has seen, I don't know if it's an improvement, with the exception of Colorado College, but it's a great league.
Yeah, I like it. I like a lot of the teams. I mean, there's probably only one really weak team, I think, right now is Colorado College in that league.
And nothing's going to change for a long time, if at all. The Big Ten's going to keep this thing going with what they have, and quite frankly, they can have it.
Well, about a week ago, it came out in the papers and the radio programs down in the cities especially, the Big Ten and just a few teams, like maybe 3 or 4 more teams, if a kid's 21 coming into college hockey, they want them to stay out, lose 1 year eligibility, so they only get 3 years. It's just crazy. No one else wants that. I think the reasoning they come up with this is that the last 3 years, the teams that won the national title, Providence, Union, who was the other one out there in East Coast? But there's 3 East Coast. Union, Providence. God, I can't even think now. But the reason is those teams had some older players.
Yeah.
And they won the national title. So,
Well, Providence is ranked number 1 in the nation.
Right.
9-0-3. Providence, Boston College second, Quinnipiac third.
Quinnipiac, yeah. But Quinnipiac is number 1 in the pairwise.
They're 13-0-2.
Yeah.
So,
And then look at Mass Lowell, another good team. I mean, there's some good teams back east.
a team that beat UMD here on their home ice, they're 10-1-4, Mass Lowell, like you said. And did they sweep the Bulldogs in that series?
Which series was that?
UMD, Mass Lowell? Or did the Bulldogs win one of those games?
Well, I don't know if that was a tie the first game. I
Yeah.
think they lost. Maybe they did get swept.
I know
Can't
they
think
lost
now.
big on one of the nights, but
I wasn't there the first night. I was there
Okay.
the second night where they lost
All
big.
right.
I think it was 6-3 the second night.
But you called it. Mass Lowell's a good team, and here
Yeah.
they are ranked 5th in the nation.
Right. And the Yep, I mean, I like St. Cloud State, the way they play their hockey, and Nebraska will go as long as their goalie's hot, because their system's a little different. In North Dakota, I guess North Dakota's North Dakota. They're always good.
Yeah. Well, in Division III hockey, again, the Saints will host Marion this weekend. UW Superior Yellow Jackets, 3-4-2. They'll be on the road at UW Stout and Stevens Point this weekend. The Saints Classica Saints women's hockey team has a game coming up Tuesday, December 8th, at UWS. 7 o'clock start at Westman. The Saints Classica Saints women and UWS, Tuesday, December 8th. And the Wisconsin Badgers, they're 3-5-4. And Wisconsin will be at Michigan to lose 2 games this weekend at Michigan.
Okay. So make sure you put these dates on your calendar right now. December 16th, Duluth Marshall, Duluth East, at Amsoil.
Oh, yeah.
February 6th, Saturday, February 6th, down at the Bayfront, Hockey Day, Minnesota. We got Duluth East playing Lakeville North, last year's state championship game. And that'll be 1 o'clock. And at 10 o'clock, we got Duluth, Denfield, and Evelyn. So that's at the Bayfront, February 6th. So there'll be more stuff. We're going to have some guest speakers on this coming in, and it'll be, and that's going to be a great day. If the weather's nice, man, there's going to be thousands of people down there at the Bayfront. And it's a beautiful sight.
Yeah.
If it's nice. You got to bring your camera down there and take some
we'll
pictures.
have photos.
And
I feel bad. We had Denfeld coach Kevin Smalley last week as a guest, and it just kind of slipped our minds till the very end that we got to touch on it. But Denfeld is certainly looking forward to that. This Thursday, Duluth East will be at Apple Valley in high school hockey. Hermantown and Marshall this Thursday, 7:30 at Mars. And then Friday, Duluth Denfeld travels to St. Paul, Cloquet at Hopkins, Proctor, Lake of the Woods. But this Saturday, Jerry, Andover and Duluth East will host at Heritage at 1 o'clock.
Yeah, they changed the time.
Did they?
Yeah, it was going to be a 3 o'clock game, but the reason is Coach Randolph his kids' team, Nebraska Omaha, is playing St. Cloud State up in St. Cloud. He wants to get down to watch the game, so the coach for Andover, which is nice of him, did the change and that. So they'll play at 1 o'clock at the Heritage Center.
This Saturday, Andover and Duluth East.
Right.
Well, that's it. We've come to the end of the program. The Minnesota Hockey Connection is online, minnesotahockeyconnection.com. And on Facebook. Go to our Facebook page and like us on Facebook.
But now you're doing YouTube. Our show will be on YouTube too, so you can go on Minnesota Hockey Connection, small, and just put it together. Don't know separation.
Minnesota Hockey Connection all together in lowercase
and then
on YouTube.
Then subscribe to YouTube for that, and then you'll get our show on YouTube every time we put it up.
Yeah.
So,
also, thank you to the staff at PACT-TV. This program is produced in the studio at Public Access Television in City Hall. And on that note, Jerry, we're done. We'll be back here next week to drop the puck.